All right, hey guys, this is AJ Unlimited here to bring you another video. And if you're watching this video, I am currently in Disney World. My family and I, we're currently in Disney World on our annual family trip. The theme for this video is the top 5 greatest Disney rides. Now I'm talking about Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida here, not Disneyland, not Tokyo, not any other country or state or city. This is all parks included, and these are just the rides that I look forward to the most when I go to said parks. The number 5, I listed Space Mountain, and that is in the Magic Kingdom. That is a ride it's one of the OG Disney rides that was built when the Magic Kingdom was built back in 1971. And it's just simple, it's fun, it's thrilling, and everyone loves it. It's just, it's in the dark, and you see, like the stars and some of the planets. You can't really see much because it is very dark. But it's a fun ride because it's doing all this stuff, and it kind of does these drops and these turns, and you can't see anything. So honestly, actually, if you're afraid of the dark, you probably wouldn't like it. But and I didn't. I was afraid of this ride for the longest time until I finally went on it, and I loved it. But it's just a fun ride, and it's just like one of those rides that kind of never stops. It just keeps going. When you think it's over, it just keeps going, and it's cool. It's simple. It's a classic, and yeah, can't go wrong with Space Mountain. Number 4, I listed Mission Space, which is actually an Epcot. That's a newer ride. I think it opened in like 2010, 2012, something like that. And honestly, I'm surprised I ever had the guts to go on this ride because if you're claustrophobic, you will hate this one because you're literally in this like capsule thing. There's, I think, 4 seats in total. And it's like, this thing is like the size of a small car at the biggest, at the largest. It's like, you're in this thing, and like the screen is like literally, I don't know, maybe less than 2 feet away from your face, and you have like controls and stuff. And the premise of the ride is you're going to space, you're going to Mars. You have a mission to go to Mars, and you have like 4 people in each thing, and one is like the engineer, one is the pilot, one is I don't know, something else. There's 2 more. And there's like this guy, and it's like speaking through this radio. It's supposed to be like Houston, and he's sort of directing you as you go. And you have this little thingy-majigger, kind of looks like an old school video game thing. And you have like all these buttons everywhere. They don't do anything, but it's just kind of fun to press and stuff and pretend like you're doing this whole thing. You go blast off, and the way this ride works is to simulate you like going being blasted off into space. They spin and you don't know it when you're in there. You don't see it. Like, there's no windows. You can't see what's going on. It just feels like the G-force is pushing you back, and you feel your chest like sinking in. And it's a very, very freaky feeling when you do it for the first time. But once you get used to it, especially when you're boozed up, you kind of learn to love it. And they tell you don't look left or right because it could disorient you. But I like to do it because I want to challenge to see what my body can handle, which is probably not good, but I don't care. So you get blasted off to space. You do this like slingshot around the moon, and it's just like this situation. It's pretty awesome. And then you land on Mars, and then that's it. The ride's over. Well, of course, like it's like a crash landing, and you kind of have to like navigate and don't fall off that cliff, right? And then that's it. Then you get off the ride, and it's like, oh, okay, like, oh, Mars looks a lot like Earth. But by the way, there is a milder version. There is a version that doesn't do the spinning. It just kind of tilts you, and I guess if you have motion sickness or something, or for kids, and it's more ideal. I like the more intense one, but that's just me. Number 3, I chose Expedition Everest, which is in Animal Kingdom. This one is really cool, fairly new as well, and came out again, like, I don't know, 2012, 2000, something like that, somewhere around there. And the premise is, you go on you're on this train type thing, and you're going up to Mount Everest, and you end up in like the sort of inside the mountain in the cave area, and it's all dark, and then like you see shadows of like the Yeti, the Yeti monster. and he's like trying to do all types of stuff to the track, trying to really scare you, spook you a little bit. Eventually, you go out and you do this massive drop, and it goes crazy, and then you go back into the cave, and then the Yeti tries to grab you, but you dodge him if you're lucky. Then it kind of ends. That's one of those I wish lasted a little bit longer for sure, but it's still a great ride, especially at nighttime. It's awesome. Number 2, I listed Tower of Terror, which is in Hollywood Studios. Backstory is it's like you're in this like hotel that is like from the 20s or 30s. And it's all run down and there's cobwebs everywhere and all this jazz. Obviously the employees are dressed up in the old fashioned like fancy hotel attire, and they're acting all like stoic and creepy and Grim Reaper type. So you go through the thing and then another thing and then you go through a door. This is all before the ride. This is all the line. You go through a set of doors and then you end up in a room where it's like a library type, but then there's like a TV up there and it sort of gives you this intro of like it's like the Twilight Zone and ooh, spooky. You exit that room and then you're all of a sudden somehow in like the basement of this hotel, so-called hotel, and like the utility sort of like lower level, and there's like all these crazy like pipes and vents and these weird noises, and it's very dark and it's creepy. And you go to the elevators, and there's like a bunch of them. I don't even know how many there are. And you go in this elevator, but it's like, obviously it's not a regular size elevator. It's probably the size of like this whole room, which you guys can't really see the whole room, but it's like, it's whatever. Just, it fits like probably 50 people, that type of thing. You go up and it sort of takes you through like never before seen like corners and depths of this hotel. And it's just, again, very dark, and you have this narration going on and all these crazy weird visuals and lights and like ghosts like that. It's pretty cool. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. And it goes completely dead silent, pitch black, and all of a sudden, you fall and you do like 4 or 5 of these ups and downs, and the windows are all opening. You can see the whole park and everything. It's really cool. And they like take your picture and stuff. Before I list my number one favorite ride at Disney World, I'm going to mention a few honorable mentions. So there's Star Tours, which is also in Hollywood Studios, and that's like this thing where you get into it's like another simulation type of thing, like Mission Space, but it's a lot bigger. It's like kind of like you're, I don't know, in like a very small movie theater, but it's supposed to be a spaceship. And like there's a TV thing, and you have these glasses for 3D, and there's a TV thing, and it's a Star Wars based ride, so you're like flying through space and trying to dodge all these meteorites and lightsabers and lasers and stuff. Another honorable mention would be Soarin', which is in Epcot, and that one's cool. You just sit. It's kind of like a movie theater, but you sit in these chairs and they kind of lift you up. And there's this really massive TV screen thing, and you just basically, it's like you're doing one of those, what do you call them? The thing with the wings, hang gliding or whatever. And you're just being transported through like different parts of the world, like, I don't know, like rainforest deserts like Morocco and China, and you get all the smells, and there's like music, and it's really cool. It's a very fun, very wholesome like ride that everyone loves. It's not the most thrilling, but it's very like lots of oohs and ahs. The final, whatever you call it, honorable mention that I can think of in the moment is the one and the only Splash Mountain, which unfortunately shut down last year, and boy oh boy was that a disappointment on my behalf, because that was my favorite ride as a kid, and that was the only ride that, like, because I used to have really bad anxiety and stuff about like roller coasters, and that was the only ride I wasn't terrified of. And I don't know, it's just it's based on the movie Song of the South, which is like, I guess, controversial because it has to do with like more or less a recently freed slave, and like you have the zippity doo dah zippity song, but it, there's no mention of that movie. It's just that song, and then like Brer Fox, Brer Rabbit, which I don't know what anybody knows what that means. And and of course you're in like a log type of boat thing. You're going through all this stuff, and there's these drops, and then like and then there's like the one final big drop, which is like the greatest grand finale like type ride like thing you can ask for, and they got rid of it due to controversy from the woke people, and they turned it into like some Tiana something something from Princess and the Frog, which is stupid in my opinion. I'm sure the ride's great, but just due to sheer biasm, I can't go on it. I can't even go. I can't do it. It's too soon. So with all that being said, my number one favorite ride in all of Walt Disney World, Orlando, Florida, is the one and only Rock and Roller Coaster. The premise of the ride is it's an Aerosmith. You're going to an Aerosmith concert. You get in line, and this is actually one of the only lines that I don't mind waiting in because it's a really cool line. You go, it starts off on outdoors, then you go into the building, and there's like, I don't know, all kinds of cool lights like blue and green and red lights and kind of like disco-y type stuff, and you hear Aerosmith, usually mostly Aerosmith stuff like Speed of Motion, Walk This Way. Then you're like inside the recording studio, so to speak, and you're like watching them record or finish up recording whatever album, whatever song, and you have Steven Tyler, the lead singer of Aerosmith. Like it's like this whole pre-recorded thing. He's like they're about to leave for their big show. But then he's like, wait, we can't leave these people here. And he says, like, get the extra stretch limo, the extra large stretch. And you leave this room and you go to, like, it's supposed to be, like, nighttime in an alleyway. And you see the cars being blasted off and you're watching, these people. You slowly make your way around and you get into the thing, and then it brings you around, and then you like sit there and it starts counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it blasts you off like literally. I think it's like 0 to 65 miles per hour in like 4 seconds, 5 seconds, something like that. It's nuts. You go through this tunnel, snap your picture, and then you go through this loop-de-loop and all this other stuff and corkscrew, and you see like stop signs and like red lights and like construction ahead, but you just don't, the car keeps going because you're late and you want to get to this show. That's definitely another ride that I wish lasted a little bit longer. Another loop or two would be fun, but it sort of just ends and then that's it. And then, I don't know, you're just sitting there and it's like, oh, like adrenaline rush. It's super cool. I love it so much. And that's my list. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. And to be honest with you, I'll probably be on one of these rides when this video is uploaded. So yay me. So thank you guys once again very much for watching this. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, you know what to do. Please do all the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, comment, share if you wanna. You don't gotta, but you can. You should. And as always, I'll see you next time. God bless. Peace. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine headed my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay.